Good day, dear students. In the following slides, we shall see about the introduction to the subject Constitution of India, Professional Ethics and Cyber Law. I shall try to explain the reason why an engineer should study this subject and what are the important concepts and ideas behind the engineering ethics. The course objective is to know the basic fundamental political codes, to understand the structures, powers and duties of an Indian citizen and Indian governmental institutions, what are the fundamental rights of an individual and the directive principles and the duties of the citizens are clearly mentioned in this subject. So as an engineer, you are expected to know your basic rights, your basic duties towards the society and towards the engineering fraternity. Also, in this chapter, in this subject, you will learn about the engineering ethics and the responsibilities of an engineer towards the society. You will identify the individual roles and ethical responsibilities as an engineer towards the engineering profession. Also, in the last chapter, you will learn about what are the various types of cyber crimes and cyber laws that are necessary for your cyber safety. So module 1 speaks about the introduction to Constitution of India, why Constitution was required for our country, what was the idea behind setting up of the Constitution, what were the influences that led to the formation of the Constitution, the societies before Constitution and after the adoption of the Constitution, the basic idea behind making of the Constitution, and you will learn about the salient features of the Constitution, how the Constitution is divided, what are the various schedules, what are the various parts in the Constitution. You will see about the preamble to the Indian Constitution, how the Constituent Assembly was formed and what was the role of the Constituent Assembly in the formation of the Constitution, what are the fundamental rights and what are its limitations, what are the fundamental duties of a individual citizen of India, what are the directive principles of the state, what are the relevance of the directive principles and its policies will be seen in this module. The second module will speak about the structure of the Indian government, how the Union Executive is formed and how the state executive is formed, what are the parliamentary system adopted by the Constitution, what is the federal system and where does our Union Executive fall, what is the hierarchy of the Union Executive in this system. It speaks about the center and state relations, how the central government functions its duties, how the state government functions its duties and how the control is distributed among the two governments. And in the second stage, in the later stage, we shall see about the Union Executive, that is the President, how the election for the President happens, what are the minimum requirement and eligibility criteria for the selection of the President, for how long the President can stay in his office. So all these details we shall see. Similarly, we shall also see about the minimum requirements for Vice President, how the election of the Vice President takes place, what are his duties and rights and responsibilities in the government will be seen. Later, after this, we shall see about the election of the Prime Minister, election of the Union Cabinet, what is the parliamentary structure that is the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, how the people are elected for these two houses, how they form the part of the Indian government, and we shall also see about the basic parliamentary committees that are formed and what are the roles and responsibilities of these committees in this module. Module 2, you will also see about the Supreme Court of India. You will see how the judicial system works, what is the role of the High Court, what is the role of the Supreme Court, how the judicial reviews and activism takes place. In the later stage you will see about the state executives, that is how the governor is chosen, what are the rights of the governor, and how government functions through the governor. And after that you shall see about the chief minister, how the elections takes place for selection of the chief minister, how the state cabinet operates, how the state legislature operates, what is the method of formation of the state cabinet and the state legislature, and after that you shall see about the state judicial system, that is the High Court and subordinate courts. What are the roles and responsibilities of High Courts and subordinate courts in the judicial system? Then at the last stage you shall see about the special provisions that are given to certain states in Article 370 to 371J. You will see about the certain special provisions and rights given to certain individual states by which they can operate certain laws within the norms of the Constitution. In module 3 you shall see about the process of election, how the electoral process works, what are the roles and responsibilities of Election Commission of India, how long does the election commissioner stay in office, what are the minimum requirements for the selection of the election commissioner, who selects the election commissioner, what are the election laws, what are the amendments and methods in constitutional amendments, what are the important constitutional amendments that have been incorporated shall be seen in this module. Also, after this, after viewing the election process and the amendments in the Constitution, you shall see about the emergency provisions and types of emergencies and its consequences, how a state of emergency can be declared, under what conditions, what are the minimum requirements to be fulfilled, and what rights and duties are to be fulfilled by the citizens in the state of emergency will be seen in this case. And in the last part of module 3 you will see about the special provisions for SC, ST and OBC. You shall see about the special provisions and rights for women, children and backward classes. Module 4 will speak about the scope and aims of engineering profession. What are the professional ethics of an engineer? What are the business ethics? What are the corporate ethics and personal ethics a person is expected to follow in the society in an organizational behavior? It will speak about the engineering and professionalism, positive and negative phases of engineering ethics. There are certain decisions taken by the engineer based on the basic engineering concepts and basic engineering calculations. So what are the norms that is allowed will be seen in this chapter. What are the positive and negative phases of engineering ethics, and code of ethics has defined in the institution of engineers for the profession of engineering will be seen, and the professional responsibility for the engineers will be also reviewed in this chapter. We shall also see about the clash of ethics, how conflicts of interest should be handled, and if possible we shall also discuss about the case studies for the same. What are the responsibility of engineer and how to follow the engineering standards, up to what extent? What are the impediments of responsibility, how trust and reliability in engineering is to be viewed, and we shall also discuss about the intellectual property rights, risks, safety and liability in engineering. In the last module, we shall see about the internet laws, how the cyber crimes and cyber laws are enacted and what are the ways to escape this. We shall also see the mode of regulation of the internet, what are the cyber laws that are prevalent in today's date, what are the types of cyber terror capabilities, what do you mean by net neutrality, what are the various types of cyber crimes, what is the cyber law in Indian scenarios, and Cyber Crimes and Information Technology Act 2000 shall be seen in this. What do you mean by internet censorship, and what are the various enforcement agencies that look after the cyber crimes in India shall be seen in this module. So course outcomes, once you study this course, it is expected that you will have constitutional knowledge and legal literacy, all the basic fundamentals of the Constitution of India. You are expected to know your rights, your responsibilities, the various sections in the Constitution. You are expected to have legal literacy. You are expected to understand engineering and professional ethics and the responsibilities of an engineer in an organization, either in educational field or in the industrial setup. You are expected to understand the various cyber crimes and cyber laws and the responsibilities that are expected by you in cyber crime safety. The question paper pattern for SEE and CIE is given as below. So SEE questions will have a set of 100 marks, and marks scored by the students will be proportionally reduced to 60. Okay. And the pattern of the question paper will be multiple choice questions. Similarly, for your 40 marks of CIE, that is for your continuous internal evaluation, university regulations for year 2018 will be followed. That is, you will have 3 internals and assignments. So these are the reference textbooks. Most of the things I will be explaining and referring from these 3 textbooks. Okay, you can also refer these textbooks for getting in-depth knowledge for the said subject, professional ethics and human rights, and by Shubham Singhals, cyber security and cyber law by Alfred Basta, introduction to Constitution of India by Durgadas Basu, engineering ethics by M. Govindarajan and S. Natarajan V.S. Senthilkumar. So these 4 textbooks will be referred for your subject and for getting in-depth knowledge in this subject, Constitution of India and professional ethics and cyber laws.